Hey there, this is Claudia Lowndes with Word Flirt, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I would do. What I would do if I was just starting out as a realtor, or I wanted to revamp my marketing for 2023, and that would be for just about any business because these are the same recommendations I would make for most businesses out there. First of all, who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Claudia Lowndes and I'm the founder of Word Flirt. I've been doing marketing since 2005, and that was about when social media came out. I live in Northern California. I was in Silicon Valley for 3 decades and now I'm in Rockland by Sacramento area. And my favorite tool is LinkedIn. I am an adopter of LinkedIn before I did marketing, and they first became a company and I was a recruiter. And so I used it as a recruiter back when it was a very, very young application and have been using it ever since and consider myself a super user. And when I started marketing, I was just kind of doing cheesy websites for friends and blogging for clients kind of as a side business because I love to write. And then I got a little bit more serious. And since then, I've helped hundreds of realtors, loan officers, consultants, coaches, small businesses, basically anybody who could benefit from online marketing. And so over the years, I've really come to realize that there is a bunch of different ways that you can spend your money on marketing and advertising. And basically everybody wants to sell you their program. I know because they try to sell it to me too. It's overwhelming, really, if you're first starting out as a real estate agent or a realtor, or you're busy in the trenches in your business, any kind of business. And really, you're highly unlikely to do all your own marketing because if you did, you can't really do it well and manage your business. You're good at what you're good at, which is your business. You shouldn't have to be doing all of your own marketing. So what I want to do today is help you cut through the noise a little bit and get to the point where you kind of prioritize where you're going to spend your time and your money on your marketing online primarily. So if I were starting out fresh, my main objective, I would say, is to get as much online exposure as I could. And I would do it quickly. I would try to outsource or automate as much as I could. And I'd keep it budget friendly, but not make it look cheap or cheesy. I like the word cheesy, obviously. And then from a second standpoint, I would get involved in the community. This is more of an offline marketing strategy. Things like getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce and developing an area of expertise, whether it's a neighborhood as a realtor or a niche in your business. And volunteering, because you meet lots of great people volunteering, you give back, and it's just genuinely awesome. Let's focus on online exposure for most of this presentation I'm about to give for you, because that's really my expertise. I think a lot of people really already know how to do traditional marketing. So let's talk about online, and let's start with a few facts about why it's important to be online. First of all, millennials make up the biggest age group of home buyers on the market. There's 37% of them. And then the next gens are 24%. So 61% are between the ages of 29 and 58 years old. As far as your competitors, they're online. 74% of realtors use Facebook for their business and 56% use LinkedIn. And more than 30% of realtors report closing at least one transaction per year as a direct result of their use of social media. Think about that. 30% of the realtors, those are your competitors. And if you're not doing the same thing that they're doing, then you're missing out on a good chunk of the market. And then 70% of brokers and broker associates and 69% of sales agents have their own website. And we're going to talk about that and what the benefits are for that. So it really is important for you to be online, as much as you may resist it or think you just don't have time. I'm here to tell you that it's critical to your business to do as much online marketing as you can. But let's not get scary here, and I'm going to help you understand some priorities and easy ways to get going. My core foundation, if I was starting out again, is I would make sure that I have a fast, modern, beautiful, and mobile-friendly website. And the website is really kind of the foundation and the focal point of everything. And a lot of people think, well, isn't that like old school? What about all the other platforms that you have out there, social media and everything? And basically, It gives you credibility. You can be on any social page you want to be, and that may give you some credibility, but they're going to go looking for more. And so I want to have control over the messaging. I don't have control over the social media platforms. I don't own them. I'm only a guest. So when I have my own website, I can take all of my messaging and everything I want my potential audience and potential prospects to know can all be under my control on my website. That's really important in today's media. And you may have heard the term SEO, search engine optimization. Basically, that means that when somebody searches for somebody in your industry, in your area, that Google feeds up those results. And those results are who's ever at the top has the optimization of using the search engine. So that's what SEO is. It's used a lot. You probably hear that term a lot. And basically, you want your website to be as close to the top of searches as you can. And then everything that you need to use out there on the rest of the social platforms and directories or anything else, they can all point to your website, which will help with your SEO. And besides that, people always want a little bit more information than just what they see on social media. So they're going to go looking for you, and you want to have a website that represents you professionally and shows your expertise and your experience and your likability factor. So the features I would want on my website would be about me and why me. So my unique selling proposition, why you should consider hiring me as your agent or as a business. I would want to showcase my listings or any other work that I do, including successes of projects I may have completed, listings, sold properties, happy clients, all of that. That's the next one too, is social proof, and that are testimonials. And you can usually on a website, you can bring in Google reviews, or you can have a link to Zillow reviews or other platforms as well. And then blogging, people say that's old school too, but honestly, that's where pretty much every article is. It sits on a blog. And so in my case, if I were starting out as a realtor, I would want to make sure that I make it as local as I can. So posting about things that are going on in the community, what's going on in the neighborhood that I want to farm, what are things that people that would be interested in hiring me in their neighborhood, like what do they want to know? And that blog is the perfect place to do that. And you can share that blog on your social media platforms too. And I want to make sure that it's easy for people to find me and reach me. If they can't find me on any of the social pages as far as my contact information, I want it big, bold, and beautiful on my website. And it's an easy way to build an email list. So I would want to build my list by offering maybe a home valuation or a giveaway report about the neighborhood that I'm in, or whatever the case may be, but it's a place where you can build your email list too. I now have a nice shiny new website, and I would then focus on local directories. And you're probably wondering, what are local directories? So local directories are online places where people hang out basically, or go looking for services or products or places. And the reason why you want to be on local directories is because you want to have a consistent presence with accurate information all across the web. By doing this and controlling the local directories, you can make sure that that is a consistent message on your behalf. People are out there searching, and usually when they're mobile, the first things that come up are the local directories. You may not realize that yet. We want to provide backlinks to your website, and that helps your SEO. So every time you put your business on a local directory, you put a link back to your website, and that helps you with SEO. And then you can use their SEO when people search. So for instance, let's say you're on Yelp and somebody searches for realtor in San Jose. Then if you have a lot of ratings on Yelp, Yelp is a very active internet property, so it may come up on the first page, and that might be your profile that comes up. And so you're basically using what they've already done to optimize their website and their platform. You get to take advantage of that by being on there. And then Google looks all across the web when it's considering what the quality of the search results are. So if Google sees that you have a consistent presence and it's all accurate information, then you look more legitimate in Google's eyes. So some examples of different directories that are local. Google My Business, you may have seen that. That's what comes up when people Google the plumber near me or realtor near me, that Google My Business comes up. And if you haven't claimed your business on Google My Business, kind of as a notch back on in Google's eyes. Apple Maps is another one. Alignable, you may have heard of that. It's like a mini LinkedIn directory, but it's local. It's not across the country. Like, you're not connecting with people in other states. You're primarily connecting with people within your neighborhood, just like Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a directory limited to your geographic area, and many realtors are on there. You can also put your business on there as a realtor or any other business on Nextdoor as a local business. Yelp, I already mentioned. Around Me is another one. And the Yellow Pages, that sounds funny, but there is a Yellow Pages app, and they are still somewhat active. Then they come up every now and then in search. So that's the local directories, why, and basically examples of some of them. There really are like 500 different directories out there that you could get yourself on, and there are ways to do it. There are companies that will, if you pay a one-time fee, you can upload all your information and it'll publish across the entire directories. If you have a question about that, reach out to me on a side note. All right, so we talked about my website, we talked about local directories. Next is everybody's favorite word or words, social media. And yes, I think that's another very critical part of the core foundation for my marketing. So why? Why do we want to be on social media? I've touched on this a little bit, but you want to build trust, authority, and likability. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you are on social media, that's an opportunity to showcase all of that. You can showcase what you know about the industry. You can showcase your personal side and have some fun and things that you're passionate about, things that you do in the community. That's a really good place to build that trust, authority, and likability. And you can interact with the followers, the people that you want to attract, where they're hanging out. They're all hanging out on social media. And so you want to make sure that you have a solid foundation on social media. Again, like the business or like the online directories, you're going to want to make sure that your business information is consistent across the platforms. So you don't want to have one website on Facebook and then a different one on Twitter. You want to make sure you have everything is lining up so that it's all consistent, and that is another way that people trust you. And then each of these platforms, again, link back to your website. Backlinks are good. Google likes backlinks, and that will help your SEO. So if I were to prioritize, because if you think about all the different platforms that are out there, it's a little bit overwhelming. And so I don't suggest people go on and just try and get on every single platform right away and do all of it. It's really hard to do that, and it's not going to be quality for your audience. So I would suggest you pick one or two to start with, grow it, get to know it really well, and then branch out. If I were to prioritize, I would prioritize LinkedIn as the first one. And the reason is it is an online network for businesses. People are there expecting to do business and wanting to do business. And it's, the way I look at it is like a chamber of commerce, but for the whole world, and it's online. So you're not just going to one little networking meeting in your neighborhood. You're actually able to branch out and reach many more people all around the world. Facebook is second. And I know a lot of people are more comfortable with Facebook, but Facebook is a really good one too. And a lot of people out there, the consumers in the age groups we mentioned earlier, are there. And then Instagram. Instagram is very visual. So if you are committed to taking lots of pictures of your listings, your clients, kitchens, bathrooms, neighborhoods, whatever, if you're committed to taking a lot of pictures, Instagram's a great one for you. Twitter is a little bit controversial still with everything that's been going on. And so I would list that as my fourth priority. Pinterest is really good too, but again, you have to be committed to taking lots of photos and pinning them and then connecting them back to like your website or how people can get to know you. So Pinterest can be a bit more work than some of the other ones. TikTok is definitely up and coming. It's a very popular video platform. And so if you're going to do any sort of video on Instagram, for example, then you could also take that to TikTok and publish it there. And then, of course, YouTube. YouTube is great for any listings that you may have, any interviews you have with clients, anything that it's like a repository for where you can put all of your videos that you want to be able to point back to. There are strategies specifically for YouTube for people that want to build their business by using YouTube, but we're not going to go into that. It's just something to note. All right, so we've got a website, we're on local directories, and we're starting our social media. The next thing I want to talk about and go into a little more depth is LinkedIn growth. Okay, so I mentioned this before. Your ideal client is on LinkedIn. They are educated, they are professionals, and their average income is $100,000 across the US. So those are people that are very potentially ready to buy or sell real estate. You're basically going right, cutting through all of the people that are not in that age group or in that demographic, and you're going right to where your ideal client is hanging out. And like I mentioned earlier, people expect to do business networking. And it's also a good way to grow your email list. So if you're going to do any sort of email outreach, then you can use LinkedIn to help you grow that. So how do we do this? Basically, the tips that I give is you want to post regularly. And on LinkedIn, keep in mind, we're not posting puppy videos, okay? We want to keep it professional. It's perfectly fine to post things about your business, about people in your life, anything as it relates to your business, your personality, anything that's likable. It's just, let's not put the big kegger party on there. And you can use LinkedIn to do advanced searches. So if you're just curious to see who's out there in a particular company, for example, or somebody within a zip code or a neighborhood, you can do advanced searches and kind of narrow it down. And then what you want to do from there is you want to send connection requests and just start connecting with people. And you don't want to necessarily do hard selling, but you do want to make them aware of you and then have the posts that you post interesting information that they might like. And then once you've connected and they have accepted your connection request, you send them a thank you and just nurture that relationship. Maybe offer them something like a free home value evaluation or your latest report on the market in the area, something like that. It's always nice to give something back. And on LinkedIn, you can do that right there in their message box. And then every now and then follow up with them. If you're having an open house or maybe a home buying seminar or something that is of interest to them, follow up with them and let them know about it. But just try and stay as connected as you can and nurture that relationship. And once you have been connecting with people on a regular basis, you can export the people that you're connected to into MailChimp. Now, there are tricks to know about that because LinkedIn doesn't give you every email of every connection you have. So you have to fill in the blanks by going into their profiles and pulling them out. But once you have those connections, they're valuable because now you can take them off of LinkedIn and go to MailChimp or any of the other email platforms, and you can send them emails, you can put them on drip campaigns, you can do whatever it is you need to do to continue that nurturing process. All right, so we have a website, we're on local directories, we're using social media, and now we know how to use LinkedIn to grow. What's the final piece of my foundation? And that is a monthly newsletter. There are lots of people that work for brokerages that offer a canned newsletter. And I can't tell you that if I'm connected to 5 people on Coldwell Banker, then I get 5 of the same Coldwell Banker newsletters every month. So what I like to do, if it was my business, I would do a monthly newsletter that I create that's a custom monthly newsletter. And MailChimp is a great platform for doing that. And if you've been growing your LinkedIn connections, you can be growing it every single month. And then you're sending out to this monthly newsletter. Why is this important? Most people actually still open their email. I know that people say, oh, email's dead. Nope, email is not dead. And in fact, for every $1 that you spend on an email, the average return is $34. So if you're in other businesses, that is especially true. So if you have products or services and you email your list on a regular basis, then you get $34 back for every $1 that you would spend on email. I'm not sure what the exact number is for real estate, but I do know that it has a huge impact on people staying in front of people, and eventually that will turn into a sale for you. And you want to stay in front of them. Like I said earlier, you want to stay in front of them, and you can do that with traditional marketing, but with email, it's more convenient for people, and you can also customize your messaging a little bit better. This will help you to extend the trust, authority, and likability factor so that people want to work with you. And make the newsletter interesting. Make it relevant to them, and they will look forward to receiving it every month. And what do I mean by that? Different features would be, do like a customer highlight, do something about what's going on in their neighborhoods, a market recap paragraph, images, things, a recipe, cleaning tip. Do things that are relevant to them, not necessarily all about you and real estate and your business. If it's interesting, I promise you they will look forward to it and they will read it every month. So you can use a free MailChimp account. I think you can have up to 2,000 contacts in there before you start paying. And what I would do is go in and set up an email template. So for one time, I go in, I put my headshot, my logo, my contact information, I format the flow of the newsletter, and then it's set up as a template, and I can use that template every month. And I would make sure I'm always growing my list by importing the emails that I get. That's not just from LinkedIn, but any meetings I have or people that I meet, I would put them on a spreadsheet and import those emails before I send my newsletter every month. And then try and make sure that your content strategy is consistent. So if you're known as the dog lady, then make sure that that comes out in your newsletter. Make it something that's interesting to people that think it's so cute that you're the dog lady, all right? And make sure that it's consistent with the strategy that you use across social media and whatever else you're doing out there online, because they're gonna be looking for that consistency and you don't wanna confuse people. All right, so now the question is, what type of content? This is a big question that I get a lot. And I would say it's very important to use the high quality images, videos, live streams, and GIFs that you have. And so most phones these days take very high quality images and videos, so that's good. If you're gonna do a live stream, you may need to get a plugin or an app to do that. And GIFs are just fun, and you can make your own these days very easily. But these are all the top things that people look for. They're very visual. People respond to visual posts the best. And then make sure that it's adding value to your audience. And so you want to ask yourself, what do they want? So what are their interests? What are their pains, fears, and curiosities? And then how does it relate to your business and your brand? And universal humor. I mean, everybody loves a good laugh. So if it's not at anybody's expense, and if it's just kind of a universal bit of humor, everybody likes that. And those are highly engaging too. People will share that. If you share something that makes them laugh, they're going to share it with their friends. Let's just say everybody loves a motivational post, whether it's a quote, an advice, or something funny that is motivational. And that too gets a lot of engagement and sharing. Education and information, this is going to help you showcase your authority. So what I mean by that is anything that you think your buyers and sellers are questioning. What do they need to know about? Do they want to know how to build their credit? Do they want to know how to qualify? Do they want to know how to get their home ready for a sale? These are things that you can post to educate and inform them. And that helps build your credibility and authority and likability. And then, of course, you can post all of your marketing materials. So your real estate listing, things that you've sold or successes, your clients, stories, things like that. People are interested in that. If they know you're a real estate agent, they're going to expect it, and they're going to actually like that. I don't always recommend that for every business because you don't want to be too in your face about work with me. But if you're doing a nice combination of the other topics above that, I say definitely promote your business and try to make it fun and informational and interesting to your audience. But definitely it's okay to post promotional posts. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on offline tips, but I'm thinking about if I were starting out as a new realtor or I wanted to revamp my business. And one of the things I would do is get involved in the community. And if I have a passion project, I mentioned the dog lady earlier, maybe volunteering at a park that is specific for dogs or something like that. Something that I'm passionate about that can give back to the community. That's what I would do. You can also sponsor different things. You can sponsor community events, school events, athletics, nonprofit events. There's different things that you can sponsor that will get your face and your name in front of people who are not necessarily looking. And that's always a good thing. And then this is a special trick that I learned from Gary Vee. And basically, if you go into a restaurant or a mom and pop shop or something, ask them if you can do a quick interview or take a picture of their business or do something and then share it with your audience. You could put it on your site as a blog post, you could put it in your newsletter, and you can share it on social media. And this is really a great way to just get to know people and have them trust you for being a resource in your particular area. And then for traditional marketing, I think going back to the physical flyers, door hangers, and postcards idea, I think they all have their place, but they're expensive and they're time consuming if you're going to be, pounding the pavement yourself. And so if you have a small neighborhood that you're farming, I say that this is always a good idea. And I know some real estate agents who just get a ton of business by doing this. So it's really up to you. I was just mostly focused on the online, as I mentioned before. And then there are billboards and magazines and benches. Those are traditional marketing techniques, okay? So those are just some ideas if I was going to start out. And here are the takeaways. I would focus my resources online first and grow it. And then I would focus on being active in the community and traditional marketing. So the next steps, content is always a big problem for people. They don't know what to write. They don't know how to create it. They don't know, what to say. They're worried about writing it properly, everything. If you're stuck on the fact that you have to post things on your social media, then I have a treat for you. Basically, I have spent the last almost 15 years helping realtors and loan officers to get their social media posts out there. So I've researched and created a ton of different topics over the years. And so what I really realized was a need out there is for this to be easy for real estate agents or for loan officers. I've created a fast, easy, and very inexpensive resource for content, and it's on my website. Basically, my whole team over the last 2 years spent 100 hours or more to research, design, and write these posts for you. And it's not just fill in the blank content, it is real content. This is things that we have like buying, selling, and moving tips. There's real estate terms and questions and quotes. There's promotional templates. There's this or that prompts and home life hacks, and there's more. We have some bonuses as well. The features of the templates are basically they're customizable Canva templates. They come in 2 sizes that we've created them in square and story sizes. And you don't have to have a pro account with Canva, although we definitely recommend it. It's very inexpensive. It's like $120 for the whole year. And it just opens up so many more assets for you. Things like better quality photos, elements, videos, music, stuff like that you get access to all of it if you have a pro account. Some of the templates that we made do require the pro images, and you would need to either purchase them separately or just go pro, or find your own pictures and use your own pictures. And so if you don't want to customize them, you don't know how, and you don't have time, they also all come in ready to share images. So you can just download them as a JPEG and then share them as they are. I've written captions for a very long time, and I know how hard it can be to come up with what you want to say with the image that you're sharing. And so I wrote captions for all of the different templates that we have in there, and all you really have to do is copy and paste it. You can then tweak it if you want to, but this is really the fastest, easiest way to get social media content out there. So if you're interested, go to my website, wordflirt.com, and check it out. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you. And I hope that you got some value from this. And if you're interested in talking more about your own marketing or have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the screen. Thank you and have an awesome day.